from parts unknown. Well, I was shooting for 9:45, but I'm a little late. I am once again simulcasting on Rumble and Utizzle, and I thank everybody for coming in tonight, and I hope you all have had a wonderful day. A lot of things have happened. A lot of people are going to be looking at bright, shiny things and missing things that are right underneath our noses. Put up by Mr. T, President Trump himself. So anyway, while people come in, get comfortable into the chats, I'm going to play a few videos. Welcome aboard.
Jr., he was declared the front-runner for the New York Senate seat back in 1999. Days later, his plane crashed into the Atlantic Ocean, and his rival, Hillary Clinton, was elected senator. Mary Mahoney was a Clinton White House intern. She knew enough of the inner workings of Bill's sexual advancements to be a star witness during the Clinton impeachment trials. She was brutally executed at a Starbucks she was managing in 1997. In 1993, White House counsel Vince Foster was found dead in Fort Marcy Park near D.C. He supposedly killed himself, and among a lengthy list of potential foul play, the bullet was never found. Then there's James McDougal, a key witness for White House prosecutors. He was serving his 3-year sentence for bank fraud at the Fort Worth Federal Medical Center in Texas. And just before he was to give a testimony before the grand jury, McDougal suffered a heart attack in solitary confinement. In 2015, Walter Scheib, a White House chef hired under Bill Clinton, joined the list. His body was found at the bottom of a river, nearly 2 miles from the base of the trail he was reportedly hiking. An autopsy determined that Scheib's death was accidental drowning, but he might have known too much. 27-year-old Democratic National Committee staffer Seth Rich was shot and killed in D.C. this year. There is speculation that he was the source of the controversial leaked emails allegedly sent by DNC staffers, and that he may have been murdered in retaliation. Then Sean Lucas, the lead attorney in a fraud case against the DNC, was found lying on the bathroom floor by his girlfriend when she returned home on August 2nd. Results of an
You could have rigged elections. You could lie about why you go to war. You could fill your prisons with one particular racial group and no one would complain. You could use the media to scare the people into supporting policies that are against their interests. I know this is hard for you Americans to imagine, but please try. I will tell you what democracy is. Democracy is the worst. Endless talking.
Storm zone.
Yes, sir.
I'm wondering what storm you're talking about.
They have unsuccessfully tried to take down the wrong person.
And he's absolutely going to come back with full vengeance the next time around.
I think about what 4 years of a retribution presidency might look like. Our Constitution really does give president tremendous power to destroy. This will be something we could never have imagined.
Now the gloves are off.
Some of Trump's close political allies told him they are working on figuring out the identities of the FBI and DOJ staff and forming lists.
I will direct a completely overhauled DOJ to investigate every radical DA and AG in America for their illegal, racist enforcement of the law. The deep state is destroying our nation, but the tables must turn and we will quickly destroy the deep state. We know where the bodies are buried. There are a lot of people out there that have done some very, very evil things, very bad things, I would say treasonous things against our country. People that have done. I've been looking at them for a long time.
He could order the investigation and prosecution of individuals who he sees as enemies.
Put them all in jail where they belong. You gotta get tough and smart, and you have to fight fire with fire. You can't allow this to go on.
careful. We will take care.
Hi, folks. Thank you for joining me tonight. I hope you all having a great night. And I was going to put in my thumbnail somewhere in the title, Epstein who? Jeffrey who? A lot of videos I noticed when I was uploading my studio and everything to Rumble and Utizzle. Oh, the Epstein tapes. Dan Bongino's got a video he's going to show us. Well, it's all fine, and people should be wondering about it, but you might as well try to do an autopsy on James McDougal or Vince Foster or whoever. Name them. What's it matter? What do they matter? We're talking about the here and now, and booms have been dropped today. Today was a big day, and you sew all these things together, these quilt patches that are dropping down out of the sky, and you get a blanket of information. So stick with me, folks, and I'll explain to you what I mean. And it was a big day today. Hi, Angel. Hi, WW2. Sissy. Finding Dory. Nice to see you, sweetheart. Doc Honeycutt. Nice to see you. Sherry. Kim's here. Let's see. All right, we got people rolling in. Debbie, Yvonne. Let's see. William's here. How you doing, William? Darla, let's see. Wayne's here. Whoa. And Flannel Cheese. Debbie said, follow the pin. Yeah, we need to hear from her, don't we? Let's see. Gary's here. I'm back. I'm bad. That sounds like a good song. He's back. He's bad. He's Mountain Man. Yeah, Miss Mendersoon. Nice to see you. All right. Araceli is here. Good. We're seeing a lot of people showing up. Yeah, I was sitting there going through the events of the day, and yesterday I put up a bit of business about that court that did a blanket removal of Trump's tariffs, and I gave it short shrift because it was a garbage ruling. And it was removed in less than 24 hours. Between 12 and 24 hours, it was gone. We're going to get into that. I put on my thumbnail. He's on a mission from God, and nothing can stop what's coming. Who posted this? I'll tell you who posted it. Donald J. Trump. That's who posted it. He posted that, and I said, signal sent, buckle up, official D. With the other things that have come through. How you doing, Bill? Lurking, he says. Jackie's here. Nice to see you. I'm back. I'm bad. Anyway, now, somebody else I've talked about in the past, and here's a picture of him right here. In case you ever wonder what he looks like. This freckled freak right here. Does anybody know who this is? Gonna put it in the chats maybe who this person is. Before I get into the Donald J. Trump business, we have these individuals coming in our country, or some are already here and sympathize. Don't forget, John Brennan is a Muslim. Not that there's anything wrong with that, like Seinfeld used to say. Who's this person? Who is this person? Whoa. Come on now, why won't my chats? Sometimes I touch these chats, they don't move. Anybody got an idea? Well, I tell you, they pushed this philosophy, of Hooray for Hamas. Oh, but it's under the guise of protect the poor Palestinian children. And oh, Luigi has his reasons. And political speech like 8-6 and then 4-7, right? Things like that. These are the type of people. Where do they come from? I don't see any guesses. That is Stink Uger's nephew, Hassan Piker. Just so you know his face. Maybe we'll see it on a mugshot. Maybe we'll see it getting stuffed into a jet plane to get deported somewhere. This is a person who goes on Twitch, which is designed for kids to watch, who uses foul language. That's the least of it. The least of it. He says that infants and children are legitimate military targets. He called for the assassination of a sitting senator. Yes, he did. I heard him. He's been to brothels in Germany, where the Germs live, that have been busted for having very, very underage people there. He gets suspended 6 times for playing actual propaganda and pro-terrorist videos. He laughs at coffins that are being delivered back to Israel that were hostages. He interviewed a Hamas terrorist, put his face on the camera for the world to see, talking about how they're just struggling, don't you know? Somebody who had footage of actual hostages being taken on ships by the Houthis that he participated in. This is a person, remember his face. He's the one who said Americans deserved 9/11. He's the one who said that the Jews had it coming for October 7th. Keep that in mind. He laughs at people like this. Now, she's speaking in her native tongue. I suspect Yiddish. I don't know. But this is a former hostage who's describing what happened to her friend when they were both taken captive October 7th, and her friend was injured, and that a air quotes doctor ended her life.
כשחזרתי, אז היה לי קשה, כאילו, שאני פה והיא עדיין שם, ופשוט חיכיתי לשמוע ממנה ולצפות שהיא תחזור גם ושנדבר על זה, כאילו, עוד מישהי שחוותה את אותו דבר כמוני.
כל עזה מופצצת עכשיו בטילים. יש פה עוד חטופים, ואנחנו יכולים למות מהטילים. בבקשה תפסיקו.
היא נפצעה, והגיעה לבית חולים, לשיפה, וכאילו, לפי מה שהבנתי, ממש כאב לה, והיה לה קשה, ואחד הרופאים פשוט סיים את החיים שלה. הוא החליט. אני כאילו הלכתי לבקר את המשפחה יום אחרי שהסתיימה השבעה, והרגשתי חוסר צדק. כאילו היה לי לא נעים לספר את הסיפור שלי כאילו למשפחה שלה, כי אני יודעת שהם חווים עכשיו אבל, ואני אמורה לחגוג את השחרור שלי. ושם כאילו נפל לי האסימון שהיא לא תחזור.
So, Hassan, is that the type of thing you support, you don't shed a tear for? As a matter of fact, you laugh at people? Yeah, his uncle is Stink Uger from the Middle-Aged Turks, formerly known as the Young Turks. And I've talked about him so much, I figured, well, I'll show everybody who he is. So in the future, you'll know if he makes news in the future, and I believe he will. Also, people of his ilk will make news. This is part of what they're doing. Listen to what this guy says. If I get the video to enlarge, there we go. He doesn't tell you any more plump and plain.
One day we can have a Muslim majority nation here in Canada, right in your face.
We have Canadian law here, and you say that very respectful.
In majority, you wouldn't have any other option. Go to your queen and tell her to change the laws.
Change the laws to what, sir? To Sharia law?
No, change the laws to not allow any more Muslims to come to Canada. We owe our allegiance and our loyalty first and foremost to our religion, not to the queen, to be honest. When I went for my so-called oath, I was silent, I didn't say anything. It was your responsibility to make sure you got it out of me. So when I didn't say anything, I'm not...
I don't know why that video froze up. But you heard what he said. Button. Come on. It doesn't want to play, but it was basically the same old thing that he was saying at the beginning. They're going to change the country into Sharia law. He didn't say his oath. It's somebody else's responsibility. I'm not liable to any. Let me see what this says. He's in Canada and saying, we will change this to Sharia law. We will become a Muslim country in your face.
One day we can have a Muslim majority nation here in Canada, right in your face.
We have Canadian law here, and you say that you want Sharia law to displace Canadian law. That doesn't sound very respectful.
In majority, you wouldn't have any other option. Go to your queen and tell her to change the laws.
Change the laws to what, sir? To Sharia law?
No, change the laws to not allow any more Muslims to come to Canada. We owe our allegiance and our loyalty first and foremost to our religion, not to the queen, to be honest. When I went for my so-called oath, I was silent, I didn't say anything. It was your responsibility to make sure you got it out. So when I didn't say anything, I'm not...
Yeah. I don't know what was going on with the mic, folks. But anyway, you guys get the point. That wasn't exactly the best recording there in the world, but oh my gosh, I didn't mean to bring up those kind of memories, Gary. Yeah, but they're in their dreams, Miss Brenda Sue, but they are there. They're infiltrating. They're infiltrating. Well, you know, we had this, I'll go ahead and get into this business with the courts. Supposedly. Every news organization was touting it last night from the hilltops, saying that the courts were protecting the people from Trump's abuses, his tyranny, his dictatorship, blah, 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 blah. Right up to the time I went to broadcast, I didn't hear any of them talk about this defeat where the appeals court stayed their order. Not only that, but instructed them not to do anything to further disruptions of the executive branch until the case is heard. So that is their game, where they report after report after report after report, judges are smacking Trump down. Trump doesn't know what he's doing. Trump is being held in check by these wonderful judges. But none of them talk about when they all get smacked down. So I was talking last night about the Supreme Court going on break for 3 months. And if they don't do something, I think we're really going to have problems. We're really going to have problems. But I went and checked. What is Mr. T's response to the appeals court smacking them down? I didn't see anything right off the bat. But I did see this. I am pleased to nominate Paul Ingrassia to head the United States Office of Special Counsel. Remember Trump saying, I'm going to put up a real special prosecutor? Paul is a highly respected attorney, writer, and constitutional scholar who has done a tremendous job in land security. Paul holds a degree in both Cornell Law School and Fordham University, where he majored in mathematics and economics, graduating near the top of his class. Congratulations, Paul. And I said, well, that was rather tepid. I thought he would put out something rather dramatic about these judges. Let me see if this is the right one. Devin Nunes posted this. And Devin Nunes doesn't post very much, but he posted Paul Ingrassia's appreciation to Trump for the nomination. Remember, Devin Nunes has been through hell. Devin Nunes had his phone hacked, you might as well say, by Adam Schiff. But anyway, Paul Ingrassia said, it is the highest honor to have been nominated to lead the Office of Special Counsel under President Trump. As Special Counsel, my team and I will make every effort to restore competence and integrity to the executive branch, with a priority on eliminating waste, fraud, and abuse in the federal workforce, and revitalize the rule of law and fairness in Hatch Act enforcement. I find that very interesting that this is what Trump posted hours after the victory in the appeals court. The ruling, without getting into minutia, was absolutely ridiculous. It's akin to saying, having some crazy cat lady in court for speeding, and she says, I was speeding because I was so upset because Trump is so mean, and we're all very upset. A lot of us are speeding, and we can't. I had a friend that almost wrecked their car because Trump aggravates them so much. And the traffic court judge says, oh, well, case dismissed. And what's more, I'm going to order that Trump step down by noon tomorrow to put a stop to this terrible epidemic of speeding and car wrecks from his existence. Maybe that's a little hyperbolic, but it's very close. So you hear Trump announce this Office of Special Counsel in response. He did respond at length, but he put this up first. Thank you, Donald Trump, for your confidence in me. Under my tenure, Office of Special Counsel will be made safe, fair, and greater than ever before. Devin Nunes put that up. Well, why is that important? Under the current circumstances, especially when you see the meme I have on the screen right now, center, rough center left, nothing can stop what's coming. Which I used to say those words and my video would get taken down. I get banned for a week, sometimes 2 weeks. So I'm going to play this. I'm going to read you this response that Trump finally put up about the Supreme Court. He made no comment when they stopped him. Then when the appeals court overturned them, lightning speed for a court, lightning speed. Was it 12 hours? It was less than 24. Unheard of. But anyway, you'll hear Trump say that the Supreme Court is allegedly compromised. That there are many judges allegedly compromised. What does the Hatch Act address? When you're in federal office, you can't exercise your political will or to help political opponents. It's a federal offense, but nobody does anything about it. But anyway, this is one of Trump's most important posts. The U.S. Court of International Trade incredibly ruled against the United States of America on desperately needed tariffs. But fortunately, the full 11-judge panel on the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Federal Circuit Court just stayed the order by the Manhattan-based Court of International Trade. I was wondering where they were based. I thought it was D.C. Where do these initial 3 judges come from? How is it possible for them to have potentially done such damage to the United States of America? Is it purely hatred of, quote, Trump? What other reason could it be? I was new to Washington, and it was suggested that I use the Federalist Society as a recommending source on judges. I did so openly and freely, but then realized that they were under the thumb of a real, quote, sleazebag named Leonard Leo. Oh, let's put that name in the hopper. A bad person who in his own way probably hates America and obviously has his own separate ambitions. He openly brags about how he controls judges and even justices of the United States Supreme Court. Oh, I hope that is not so, and I don't believe it is. In any event, Leo left the Federal Society to do his own, quote, thing. I am so disappointed in the Federal Society because of the bad advice they give me on numerous judicial nominations. This is something that cannot be forgotten. With all that being said, I am very proud of many of our picks. They always must do what's right for the country. In this case, it is only because of my successful use of tariffs that many trillions of dollars have already begun pouring into the USA from other countries, money that, without these tariffs, we would not be able to get. It is the difference between having a rich, prosperous, and successful United States of America and quite the opposite. The ruling by the U.S. Court of International Trade is so wrong and so political. Oh, can you say Hatch Act? Hopefully, the Supreme Court will reverse this horrible, country-threatening decision quickly and decisively. backroom, quote, hustlers must not be allowed to destroy our nation. The horrific, in other words, hundreds of politicians would sit around D.C. for weeks, even months, trying to come to a conclusion as to what to charge other countries that are treating us unfairly. If allowed to stand, this would completely destroy presidential power. The presidency would never be the same. The decision is being hailed all over the world by every country other than the United States of America. Radical left judges, together with some very bad people, are destroying America. Under this decision, trillions of dollars would be lost by our country, money that will make America great again. It would be the harshest financial ruling ever leveled on us as a sovereign nation. The President of the United States must be allowed to protect America against those that are doing it economic and financial harm. Thank you for your attention to this matter, and also psychological harm with the you-know-what's in your shoulder, and you can go on and on. They're attacking from every angle. Yes, attacking from every angle. And we're starting to see responses and a process coming about. You notice how Trump added in there, so political what they're doing. That's what the Hatch Act is about. Hi, Stanton, how you doing? And that is what this new nominee for the Office of Special Counsel specifically focused on. The Hatch Act and waste, fraud, and abuse. Hi, Robin. Nice to see you. So when you put that together with these memes that Trump has put up, I might have to go out of the studio to get another one he put up. And the ones I've shown over the last couple of weeks, there's no doubt that he's showing the tie, a connection between the 17th letter, plus. He is plus. And I will say again, not to worry about the Epstein situation is to whet the appetite of people who are not familiar at all with it. Get their curiosity up. We're going to be steps ahead. Trump has plump and plain said that there are judges. This guy Leo character is running around, and I'll say they're compromised because they have somebody like this running around with impunity. Is he involved in the auto pen business? Is Leo one of the shadow powers that were handling things while Joe Biden was doing the toddler squat in front of Macron and using the bathroom on himself in front of the Pope? Were they the ones really running the country? Here's Brett Baier. Now, isn't that something? Brett Baier, the one who made the call for Arizona 2020 election. He's interviewing Kash Patel. He's interviewing Dan Bongino. He's the one giving this report about people getting subpoenaed. What a show that's going to be. And he's talking about Jill Biden. Jill Biden.
Capitol Hill, House Republicans are escalating their pursuit of answers about then-President Biden's health and an alleged cover-up by those close to him. Subpoenas are being prepared, and they could include the former president's family. Here's senior national correspondent Aisha Hasni.
Tonight, Republicans on the House Oversight Committee are readying subpoenas in case former President Biden's White House physician, Dr. Kevin O'Connor, and 4 key staffers don't agree to a request for congressional interviews by the Thursday deadline. The committee is investigating the Biden administration's use of the audit. Some still being challenged in court. Chairman James Comer tells Fox the committee could even call in former First Lady Jill Biden, the president's son Hunter, and former White House press secretary Karine Jean-Pierre.
If the trail leads us to the next step, which many believe would be perhaps Jill Biden and Hunter Biden, then we will go there.
And while several Biden insiders have stayed quiet amid cover-up allegations, they could too potentially be forced to talk under oath.
So all these operatives were actually running the country. And they're getting subpoenaed. I want to play a video about somebody else who got subpoenaed. Let me see if I can find it. Somebody else that got subpoenaed and ended up going to jail. I think this is it right here. Peter Navarro. He sat in a jail cell for months. He got waylaid by the FBI, had his phones taken away as President Trump's attorney. They breached attorney-client privilege and threw the man in jail. He's talking about the tariffs. And what he's really telling us is that there's trillions of dollars that are at stake. Do you think that that kind of money would come around to influence people to betray their country? Would be enough money to give people enough power to cow, threaten, bribe judges? Possibly at the highest level, of course. But here's Peter Navarro, and Jill Biden and all the rest of them can remember what happened to him if they have a notion to avoid those congressional subpoenas.
It's breaking news. A U.S. appeals court has reinstated the Trump tariffs during the appeal. So there is a stay here. This is breaking news.
As we fully expected, because they're wrong on the law on both the fentanyl and the reciprocal, and we can get into that. I mean, look, here's the issue. Let me tell you this now. The suit was brought by 12 states, every single one of them Democrat attorney generals, blue states from Oregon and Washington on the left coast to Connecticut, New York on the elite coast. Okay? This is a Democrat thing. Democrats are going to have to own this. They're going to have to own it in the midterm. They're going to have to own it in 28 because Donald Trump ran on an agenda that said he was going to stop China and the Mexican drug cartels from poisoning Americans. And he ran on a platform that said that we were going to have the world stop cheating us and transferring over $1 trillion of wealth a year abroad. And this court, 3 people who hate tariffs and who are free trade or Democrat or Republican or rhinos, said in a rogue decision that we can't do.
3 people. And I guarantee you they've been compromised. 3 people. Some way. I'm not saying that they're all on the take or crooked. A lot of people can be threatened. A lot of people can be cowed. Another big development that happened today, I was going to put in my title, but I only got so much room to type stuff in my title. How many times have we discussed? Doing something with the American Bar Association? That the American Bar Association is working against the interests of justice as far as the American people are concerned. They're elbow deep in this boondoggle of trillions of dollars. We're talking plural, trillions. Peter Navarro said $1 trillion a year. That equals $4 trillion just under Trump's second term. But anyway, here's a letter to the president from the Attorney General, Pam Bondi, to William R. Bay, president of the American Bar Association. For several decades, the American Bar Association has received special treatment and enjoyed special access to judicial nominees. Oh, really? Did you know that? I didn't know that. Special access to judicial nominees. In some administrations, the ABA received notice of nominees before a nomination was announced to the public. Some administrations would even decide whether to nominate an individual based on a rating assigned by the bar. Unfortunately, the bar, no longer functions as a fair arbiter of nominees' qualifications, and its ratings invariably and demonstrably favor nominees put forth by Democratic administrations. The bar's steadfast refusal to fix the bias in its rating process, despite criticism from Congress, the administration, and the Academy, is disqualified. The ABA is free to comment on judicial nominations along with other activist organizations. I'll repeat that, activist organizations. There is no justification for treating the bar differently than other activist organizations, and the Department of Justice will not do so. Specifically, the Office of Legal Policy will no longer direct nominees to provide waivers, allowing the bar access to non-public information. They're shutting a door in your face, including bar records. Nominees will also not respond to questionnaires prepared by the ABA and will not sit for interviews with the ABA. Sincerely, Pamela Bondi. This is big news, folks. Hi, KNS, how you doing? Hi, Donna, nice to see you. This is big. Kick the props right out from under them. Just today alone, the judiciary has gotten a number of earthquakes. Okay? Attorneys are called officers of the court. They're all like worms in a clump of dirt. And they've been relegated to an activist. The American Bar Association has been relegated to an activist status. Just a bunch of political rabble-rousers. Look at this idiocy going on here. I was going to put this picture in my thumbnail. This freeze frame you're looking at right here. I was going to put open rebellion on this picture. Look at these psychos standing up for illegal aliens, many of whom are guilty of very heinous things like the RA and then PE word, taking other people's lives, abusing very little ones for years in one occasion, we were told, and they want to set them free. But you look at their behavior, you watch this craziness going on. Now, the one in the pink should be in jail. I don't know if they are or not. But you'll see him, I think, trying to set up for a cash payout for being sprayed with pepper spray. They're being all dramatic about it. And but anyway, these are a bunch of crazies messing with Border Patrol.
Oh, sorry, baby, sorry.
Now, right here, a wood shampoo would work. You've all heard me use this term before. A wood shampoo. At the very least, just right on the knuckles, okay? That would take care of that business of holding that gate.
That's fucking disgusting, man.
I didn't see the pink blob. The pink blob getting locked up, but I saw somebody getting locked up. But you could clearly see, to me at any rate, they're trying to set up for excessive force, and they want a 20,000 or 50,000 for getting sprayed with pepper spray. That's one of their tactics too, on top of getting paid with gift cards. Hi, Kathy, how you doing? Party, how you party UV5? Nice to meet you. Welcome aboard. So anyway, what's this one? This is let me see. Is this some more migrants getting locked up? I don't even remember. Wait a minute. Very interesting looking picture here. Well, we'll find out together what this video is about. My foggy old brain, I can't remember.
I'm Assemblyman Zahran Mamdani, and I'm running for mayor to freeze the rent for every rent-stabilized tenant.
Wait, you're gonna freeze my rent?
Yes.
Did I hear rent freeze?
Yes! This guy's gonna freeze the rent.
No hike?
None.
This guy's gonna freeze the rent.
It's true. As your next mayor, I will freeze your rent.
Paid for by Zoran for NYC.
Some guy named Habba-Doobie Baba-Booby Zoran running for mayor of New York. He's gonna freeze the rents. I say deport that commie. And if I was a landlord, I'd be looking, when am I allowed to do my next increase? And I will do the maximum right now. You all can thank Habba-Booby Dibba-Bobby Zohan, or whatever his name is. Yeah, commies from abroad taking over our major cities. How you doing, MS Motorsports? Yes, Todd, they are very pathetic. Looked like a bathrobe, Benjamin. I don't know what that was. They don't know what they are. Oh, here's some getting, this is all self-deportation, okay? Because I think at the end here, you'll see a guy sitting on a bus or a train getting deported. I don't even think he's got any drawers on. He's sitting there in his boxer shorts or bloomers or something. So you want to self-deport. You want to get the money they're going to give you. You call and make arrangements. You'll have time. They'll set a time and day for you to be transported home and for you to get your stipend, your money, $1,000, and you can take care of your affairs instead of trying to hold out to the last second like these characters.
Get off the ground! Get off the fucking ground! Give me your hand! Don't! Give me your hand! Give me your hand! Run in! Run in!
Yeah, bye-bye, bye-bye. I could play that video of Trump. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. So anyway, let's see what's going on in the chats. Yeah, they have no idea what's coming, that's for sure. Let's hear what Bongino is saying. I want to play this first. I want to play this about these governors. Remember this? Whoa. This is the same young lady who was being interviewed body ramming, body slamming, however you want to say. And she said it was very disturbing and something needed to be done. Next thing you know, she gets indicted. Now she's bringing up concern about this Nashville mayor. And don't forget the governors around different states. We can name them off. Pritzker. And what's that governor from Maine who told Trump, I'll see you in court? And she's still letting men run around playing women in sports. They're openly defying the President of the United States. And here's a dopey mayor who is putting out information about raids and putting ICE agents in jeopardy and aiding and abetting illegals to evade capture.
It looks like Mayor O'Connell was involved in some sort of obstruction or the harboring of criminal illegal aliens in the great city of Nashville. But also just last night, his office put out the names of Homeland Security investigators and doxed our ICE enforcement officers. They claimed it was a mistake. There's zero chance it was a mistake, and there will be repercussions. Our ICE enforcement officers are already facing a 400% increase in assaults against them, and he's essentially handing over intelligence to these criminal gangs so that they can target our ICE enforcement officers. It's wrong, and it's beneath the city of Nashville, and I hope he will face consequences.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, that means to me he is going to face consequences. Just like that lady in red. Remember her? Oh, here's somebody. Let's see what she's got to say. Let's see. Biggest political scandal in over a decade rocks the Biden administration. The auto pen business.
We have a senior Democratic leader turned whistleblower and told Ed Martin who are the gatekeepers behind the auto pen. Not only that, he told Ed Martin they were making money off of the auto pen. Last week, Ed Martin disclosed that his probe with this auto pen scandal has begun weeks earlier while he was still serving as the interim U.S. attorney for the District of Columbia. Now, Martin also disclosed that a senior Democratic leader, now turned whistleblower, told Martin that there are 3 key controllers of the auto pen. They are also making money off of the auto pen. He also stated that he has contacted members of the Biden family. The several individuals of interest have retained legal counsel. The first alleged auto pen gatekeeper, Ron Klein, who served as Biden's White House chief of staff from 21 to 23, returned last year to assist with debate preparation. Second auto pen gatekeeper, Anita Dunn, former senior Biden advisor. Third auto pen gatekeeper, Robert Bauer, the former attorney to President Barack Obama. The number 4 spot goes to Steve Ricchetti, the former counselor of President Biden and the chairman of his 2020 campaign. Last but not least, the most obvious, the former First Lady, Jill Biden. This is also what you need to keep in mind. DOJ is also looking to see if they need to bring charges for elderly abuse for Joe Biden.
Yeah, I believe Mr. T mentioned Ron Klein by name. So all those names this young lady just cut loose are going to be getting subpoenaed. Here's Dopey Jake Tapper. Dopey Jake. He's, look at the guy sitting next to him. I couldn't help but stare. I'm trying to think what's going through this guy who's sitting next to Jake Tapper. Jake Tapper's talking about how terrible for the government to treat people by not being truthful. And, you know, he's trying to act like he's the victim too. And the guy sitting next to him just staring in the camera, staring holes through the camera. But anyway, I'll go ahead and play it.
I don't like what the Democrats did when it came to Joe Biden and hiding his the limitations of his abilities. I do think that Democrats, obviously, their approval ratings are in the toilet. And I think that one of the reasons they are is because Democrats just spent 4 years arguing that the border was fine, inflation was not a problem, and Joe Biden was up to the job. And I think that 4 years of that message was really harmful. I think there are other reasons, too, why Democrats have damaged themselves, not just Democrats, by the way, but institutions in general, the media, health organizations, universities, et cetera, having to do with the failure to acknowledge certain realities, whether it's having to do with riots after the George Floyd murder or having to do with COVID restrictions and shutting down schools. And on and on and on and on. I think there are a lot of reasons why there are crises in confidence in the news media, in Democratic Party, in institutions. And I think all of it needs to be hashed out, acknowledged, and discussed. I mean, but in terms of the Democratic Party, it's tough to win elections if people don't have faith that you actually care about them or are listening to them. And I think the Biden deception is one of the reasons people have lost confidence.
Yeah, well, he exacerbated all those things he talked about. George Floyd, the COVID, and all this stuff. He exacerbated every bit of that. Now he's just acting like, well, we all been tricked. But why didn't you make that guy sitting next to him, man? He was just, I thought his eyes were stuck. But then he started blinking, So I was like, wow, what's he on? Is he the guy that had the bag of cocaine in the White House? Kind of looks like it. Anyway, here, what's this, another ICE video? Let me see. Oh, here is, this guy was 20 years old. 20 years old, and they got him out of high school. He was enrolled in a high school at the age of 20. let's see, high school, what kind of ages are in there? You got freshman, sophomore, what do you got? 14, 15, 16-year-olds or whatever. This guy's a migrant, air quotes, an illegal alien. Then ICE picked him up, and I guess they're trying to say it was the wrong thing to do because he was a student. I don't know.
Contreras, originally from Venezuela. He was detained by ICE agents last week following a scheduled court appearance in Manhattan. The Department of Homeland Security claims he was in their custody and entered the country illegally at the border. The agency went on to say in a statement, quote, most aliens who illegally entered the United States within the past 2 years are subject to expedited removals. Now, advocates say Lopez Contreras does not have a criminal record and was detained without due process. Mayor Eric Adams deferred any inquiries to the federal government when he was questioned about the incident.
People should really understand that this was not in the school building. We don't know what was the outcome of the court case.
You know, it's just really sad. As this is the first reported instance of a public school student in the city being apprehended by federal officials since the start of President
New York Legal Assistance Group. That's another one that needs to be looked at. Dylan entered the United States with permission to seek asylum. He works, goes to school, has friends, and was fully complying with immigration proceedings. All this does is disrupt communities. Boy, that's one of the most abused words, community.
President Trump represented by the New York Legal Assistance Group. And they said in a statement, quote, Dylan entered the United States with permission to seek asylum. He works, goes to school, has friends, and was fully complying with immigration proceedings. All this does is disrupt communities. Now, the Department of Homeland Security, however, says if Contreras does not prove a credible fear claim, he will be deported. So there's still
good. Bye-bye. 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 I got that tape somewhere, but anyway, I got a video about David Hogg. Let me see. Border applications for Border Patrol, they reported it up 44%. Remember last night I said, man, if I was younger, that's what I'd be doing. I'd be going with the Border Patrol. What's this one? Oh, gosh. Oh, man, this is kind of out of order. But you know what? I'm going to play it. This is some guy in California. Who do you think broke in his store? I don't know. But anyway, he's out millions of dollars. His retirement, his family's been demolished financially. And the way they did it, very well planned out.
Everything, bro. That's all the customer, bro. Man, open the door. I gotta go.
Everything in our store seemed normal, and when he opened the safe, there was just a hole leading to my neighbor's store.
This is how the burglars got in. The thieves cutting a hole in the roof of the neighboring candy shop to get inside. This is surveillance video of one of the burglars army crawling through that shop before cutting their way through the wall of five-star jewelry. That included concrete and 8 inches of the safe itself. The thieves getting away with about $2 million, if not more, in cash and merchandise, including customers' jewelry that they were working on. All this happening as the father, Jacob, is getting ready to retire. His son Jonathan describing the break-in as life-altering.
Everything that he built for me and my family is now gone. His retirement is gone. My future and my children's future is now needing to be rebuilt.
While that alone is difficult, he says the biggest loss is losing his customers' heirloom jewelry that he simply can't fully replace. For that, they're asking for patience and grace from the community as they figure out next steps, but already they are feeling that support.
Right when we emotionally, someone comes in, a customer offers us kind words, some semblance of hope is restored in me, as far as the community is really backing us, and our customers are the best customers you can possibly have.
And that response bringing Jonathan to tears as he spoke to us.
Somebody, you figure out in this day and age, somebody could get away with that brazen of an act. I mean, that's like something out of the 70s or 80s, a multi-million-dollar jewelry heist, going through one store to break into the back of a safe in the other store and open the safe. Unreal. But anyway, it's terrible. It destroyed their retirement and everything. Some things you can't insure, those jewelry stores, because so many people fake things like this, so you can't really insure them. Anyway, let's hear what Jesse Waters has got to say with this auto pen Biden. Those are the big things we're dealing with now. The American Bar Association getting a smack upside the head, and the judges being called out by Trump. A historic, as far as the speed goes, reversal of a court, and also who's been running the country, who's influencing these judges, who had the wherewithal and the knowledge to be de facto president of the United States, plus take over the media, take over the judges, on and on it goes.
The FBI is opening up an investigation into the cover-ups of the White House cocaine, the DNC pipe bomb, and the Supreme Court abortion leaks. The last 4 years, one big cover-up. Comer told us the other night that he's already subpoenaed Biden aides to come in for depositions, and he'll be issuing subpoenas to Hunter and Dr. Jill, too. Sometimes when you confess to a crime, you feel better. A big weight is taken off your shoulders. Liberal philosopher Sam Harris said, "I'd destroy democracy to beat Trump."
Even that is preferable to me and to, I think, many Democrats than having someone who we consider to be genuinely evil, genuinely 100% purposed to serving himself in the office of the presidency. I would rather have a president in a coma where the duties of the presidency are executed by a committee of just normal people.
So the conspiracy that Biden wasn't running the country wasn't a conspiracy. It was their strategy. It's all coming out. Democrats wanted a brain-dead president with a shadow government and campaigned on saving democracy. If Joe had somehow won, unknown Biden handlers would have run the country. They would have controlled the Situation Room while Biden was taking a nap. Unnamed Biden aides say this: Biden just had to win, and then he could disappear for 4 years. He'd only have to show proof of life every once in a while. His aides could pick up the slack. And they just told you Trump was Hitler to justify beating him by any means necessary. That means lying to you, arresting him, maybe even shooting him. Because if they covered up Biden, why wouldn't they cover up Butler? This was a shady crew.
But these aides were not even Senate-confirmed aides. These are White House aides. These were unelected people. And one of the things that really, I think, comes out in our reporting here is that if you believe, and I think a lot of these people do sincerely believe, that Donald Trump was and is an existential threat to democracy, you can rationalize anything, including sometimes doing undemocratic things, which I think is what this person is talking about.
You can't get any more undemocratic than trying to assassinate someone. So even Jesse Waters is tying the cabal that was managing Joe or managing his image, tying him to the Butler assassination. And you could tie it into all of the other things we've been talking about. They're, except for a few holdouts, they're in charge of just about the entire media. And here is, for example, National Public Radio, NPR. Nobody listens to them anymore, but you want to talk about gall. Here's somebody sitting on national television saying with a straight face that they're unbiased and not political. National NPR.
The White House and some Republicans in Congress, as you well know, have accused NPR of promoting a liberal bias. Beyond that, the former NPR editor, Yuri Berliner, he accused the network of having what he called a lack of viewpoint diversity. How do you respond to those critiques?
Well, I first of all respond by saying we're a nonpartisan news organization. We seek to be able to provide a range of different viewpoints in terms of who we bring on air, the stories that we tell. We're buttressed in this effort by the fact that we have
I need a laugh machine. I need to put laughs in when she's saying this kind of stuff.
200 local newsrooms across the country. So a significant portion of the reporting that you hear on NPR is not coming out of D.C. It's coming out of smaller stations in rural area. It's coming out of the Midwest, the Southwest, the Pacific Northwest. Lots of Wests in there. Sorry about that. My view is that that is a mischaracterization of our work. We do not seek to favor any political party at all. We seek to ensure that Americans have a wide range of perspectives available to them.
There's also
Can you believe have the gall to say something like that? Gee, I went over an hour and I forgot to ask you all to hit the like button. If you like the video, do me a favor and hit the like button. It helps the video get around. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. Let's have a couple of laughs. Here's Marco Rubio when he was very young.
$14 million for social cohesion in Mali, whatever the hell that means. So I can go on and on. I got the list here, and there's more. I didn't even bring the whole list. In the case of El Salvador, absolutely. Absolutely. We deported gang members, including the one you had a margarita with.
Secretary Rubio has the floor. Secretary Rubio should.
Chris Van Hollen. Chris Van Hollen, he didn't like that too much. Anyway, let's listen to Dan Bongino. I got a couple of clips of him. Let me see what this one is. Before I get to Dan Bongino, let me see what this... this is just a short clip about the... it's Fox News. Oh, that's Jack... Who is that with the glasses on? I forget her name. Is that Tarlov? But anyway, let me see what I think it's only a 10-second clip. Let me see.
Appeals court reinstating President Trump's tariffs. Wow, that's some news during his appeal process after his cornerstone economic plan was struck down last night by a 3-judge panel.
Yeah, that was the biggest clip I could find until that one about Peter Navarro. Just 10 seconds. Oh, they flipped it over. Let's get on to the next story. But when they put the blockade up there, let's see what these different clips about Dan Bongino. He covers a number of things. Let's see. This might be the Epstein one. I don't know. Where he's saying they got video and it shows there's nobody in the cell but Epstein, but they don't have the actual act when he got his life cut short.
Of Jim Comey, because he cannot control himself and his emotions. He is a child. He is a big child. And let me tell you one more thing.
This is about James Comey, yeah. Cardinal James Comey. I'm still wondering about the timing of his... Did he do this thing just to promote his book, Comey, or is there something more behind it?
Jim Comey, who wants you to believe. Jim Comey taking a shot at the president. Oh, look at me. I'm such a victim. The president's going after me. He's making a ton of money on this book. The only person that got prosecuted was the president. Jim Comey, we're finding stuff even now. Wait till you read the stuff that's coming out.
Does he still have loyalists in the building? Because when I hear the FBI director saying, you guys are finding boxes that are hidden, okay, how does that happen in the Bureau?
Well, we were there a couple of weeks, and luckily there were a lot of people up there who grabbed us by the arm the minute we came in and said, thank you for being here. You know, we need to talk. There are people there who are really horrified at what happened. And there was a room, and we found stuff, a lot of stuff.
A hidden room.
I wouldn't call it hidden, but hidden from us at least, and not mentioned to us. And then we found stuff in there, and a lot of it's from the Comey era, and we are working our damnedest right now to declassify. And just so you know, because I get the public, I totally understand people saying, well, do it now. The process is not all the information is ours to declassify. Some is other intelligence agencies. It's not, we literally can't do it. Once that gets done and that gets out there, and you read some of the stuff we found that, by the way, was not processed through the normal procedure, digitizing it, putting in FBI records. We found it in bags hiding under Jim Comey's FBI. Quickly, you're going to be stunned.
The shells on the beach. Can you not talk to social?
She interrupted him right when he said, you're going to be shocked. He said, we found stuff. And the MO is to put stuff in a special file. And Natalie, what was her name? Nellie Orr, I heard was running her mouth, singing like a bird, telling investigators how they cover up this stuff. So anyway, here's some more of his. This might be the first part of it might be partially repetitive of the last clip, but oh, wait a minute. Let me see. Buddy, whoa. I don't know why that won't expand. There we go. Finally. Yeah, there we go. Let me go ahead and get this played, and we'll see what he says. What in the world?
That is Kash Patel talking about how when James Comey was on the beach and he posted that social media 8647, he claims that he just happened to walk up along the beach and they saw the shells, he and his wife, and he put it on social media, says he thought it was innocent. He was the director of the FBI, but thought it was innocent. He knows what 86 means. Then Kash Patel said, now we have all these copycats, and now y'all are having to pull resources from all these serious crimes, terrorists, gang-related individuals, drug traffickers, and people who are abusing children. You're pulling them off to go research these copycats because we can't afford another assassination attempt.
I got to tell you, of all the things that have surprised me in the close to now 3 months I've been here is the depravity of Jim Comey. This man is a disgrace to the badge, the FBI, and the country. What he's doing right now, one, going out and taking shots at Kash. Kash doesn't belong. Kash was the chief of staff at the Department of. Kash is a patriot. Kash has served in numerous high-level. Implying a threat towards the president and blaming your wife about it. And let me just add about James Comey, you know, Saint Comey, who walks around there moralizing to everyone how wonderful of a human being he is. What you said is absolutely accurate. We have wasted countless man hours now running out tips to our tip line about people putting 8647 because of Jim Comey, because he cannot control himself and his emotions. He is a child. He is a big child. And let me tell you one more thing. Jim Comey, who wants you to believe. Jim Comey taking a shot at the president. Oh, look at me. I'm such a victim. The president's going after me. He's making a ton of money on this book. The only person that got prosecuted was the president. Jim Comey, we're finding stuff even now. Wait till you read the stuff that's coming out.
Does he still have a lawyer?
Yeah, part of that was redundant, but he's calling Comey a disgrace, and I can't believe that he's not going to get arrested. I just can't believe it. Did I already play this clip, or let me see. Oh, this is about the Epstein stuff, I believe. This is about the tape where they see him by himself, that they are saying they're trying to stabilize and enhance, and they're going to release to the public. But I wouldn't be too focused on Epstein. What's being put out by Trump has got the deep state really scared.
Those two is telling you what we see in the file. I just want to be crystal clear on this. I am not asking anyone to believe me. I'm telling you what's there and what isn't.
Right.
There is nothing in the file at this point on the Epstein case, and there's going to be a disclosure on this coming shortly. We are working through there is video. That is something the public does not.
There's video of him killing himself.
No, not the actual act, but the entire MCC Bay, it was only one camera. There's video that when you look at the video, and we will release, that's what's taken a while on this, we are working on cleaning it up to make sure you have an enhanced, and we're going to give the original so you don't think there were any shenanigans. You're going to see there's no one there but him.
Right.
There's just nobody there. So I say to people all the time, if you have a tip, let us know. But there's no DNA, there's no audio, there's no fingerprints, there's no suspects, there's no accomplices, there's no tips, there is nothing. If you have it, I'm happy to see it. There's video clear as day. He's the only person in there and the only person coming out. You can see.
Well, like I said at the beginning of the video, might as well try to find out what happened to James McDougal and Vince Foster and everybody else. He's a non-issue. We're going to be getting to the big fish we got to fry, the big fish. You know, speaking of, I saw a couple of people mention David Hogg. I got a video of him talking about Nancy Pelosi. But let me go over some of this stuff. Because don't forget, we got a war in Ukraine going on. We got problems with China, which I believe that country, CHYNA, and DARPA, we all know that's all tied together. That's how these people coordinate, okay? The intricate web of people like that character who was saying, I would rather have a committee of normal people running the country instead of a president like Trump. A committee of normal people. Oh, what normal people who think that men can give birth and all the other weirdo stuff they push? But anyway, Russia is redeploying missiles for strategic bombers and preparing for a very large-scale strike. This is from a commander in Ukraine. They got his message. Hamas and Israel have agreed to a 60-day ceasefire in Gaza. I don't know how much that's worth. According to channel sources, Witkoff, I guess it's Trump's Witkoff, Steve Witkoff, is it? Has already been notified that the parties to the conflict have approved the draft agreement he proposed. Well, I guess that's good. We'll see what comes of that. Oh, brother. This is a report over there in Ruski land. They're really zeroing in on this business with Macron and his wife. Air quotes, wife. They, holy cow. There we go. They talk about this lip reader in the New York Post reveals what French President Emmanuel Macron's wife, Brigitte, said moments after shoving him in the face. And there, in that picture, you can see she's got both of her of her claws out. But anyway, leave me alone, you pathetic loser. The New York Post published a lip reading of the French president's conversation with his wife after she slapped her husband in the face. After the slap at the top of the steps, the situation became tense again. Macron gallantly offered his hand to his wife, but she ignored the gesture, preferring to hold on to the railing. As she ran past, she allegedly whispered, "Dégage, espèce de loser," which can be translated as, "Leave me alone, you pathetic loser," the newspaper writes. A moment later, Macron tried to calm the situation by saying, "Essayons s'il vous plaît. Let's try, please," to which Brigitte briefly and coldly replied, "Non," which means no. Really? His final phrase, "Je vois," which means I understand, and his facial expression says it all. The publication also says, "Ha ha ha, sacre bleu, such a terrible thing." I think it's funny as hell. Slap him around some more. Save us from doing it. Here's some James Wood put out, which, I think it matches what a lot of people are thinking. You can judge your own integrity by the corruption of your enemies. If Republicans won't prosecute the crooked Democrats, then they are in on it too. And yes, every crooked politician is an enemy of America. And if the straight politicians won't fight for us, we're done. Oh, Elon, of course, stepped down. His time is been spent for his running Doge on a temporary basis. He set off a rocket yesterday that crashed. Well, don't you know? Hi, Lucky. How you doing? Hi, Greg. Nice to see you. That the Chinese launched a rocket that can be reused, just like Elon. Remember Trump saying no other country can do what Elon was doing? Well, this is purportedly the Chinese rocket they test fired, and they don't use chopsticks to land it. I don't know. You make up your mind whether you think this is real or not. Are they on the same level or even higher as Elon? I don't know. I don't know if that's real or Memorex. I do not know. What do you all think? Looked to me like it crumbled up into the ground, but they're saying it was a success. I'm just looking through the chats here. Oh, well, you agree. All right. I'm glad somebody agrees with me. Debbie. So, anyway, I've got this video of David Hogg. I might play that tomorrow. What I am going to play is a video I had a couple of days ago. And it's Alan Dershowitz. And you know what? I'm up and down about Alan Dershowitz, but I believe he's on board with saving the country. I don't know how much traction this video is going to get, but it's exposing the media for their lying. So I'm going to play this for you all, and I want to thank you all for spending your precious time with me. I'm going to be going live again, hopefully tomorrow night. So please remember to give me a thumbs up, and please remember, if you're not subscribed, to go ahead and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you'll know when I go live. You never know. I might not be able to go live tomorrow. I'll give it my best shot. Meanwhile, I want to thank did Gary leave? Gary and Jessup Bean and Wayne for helping out this week and buying me a coffee. I have a link in the description. I didn't mention it the whole broadcast. I did at the beginning, I think. In my Rumble broadcast, and you Tizzle if anybody wants to help the channel out. So anyway, you all enjoy this video. I hope you all have a great night. This is Mountain Man, over and out.
Craziest lie from the mainstream media. I have to read it again.
I have to read it again. Trump claims Nazis treated Jewish prisoners with love. Even the word with is wrong. There isn't a syllable. There isn't a space between the words. That's true. Every single word of that is a lie. And then the newspapers say, oh my God, we're so worried the Supreme Court may take away our right of free speech and deny us the protection of malice. You have frittered away the trust of the American public. Your Trump derangement syndrome has so influenced and affected the way you reporting is deserving of nothing but the greatest contempt.